Hey, what's up guys? Hardleg Joe here with a What a Deck profile for the King Tiger Stun Deck 2017 edition. I'm just going to go through everything in here, and then I'll explain how it works. So for monsters, we're playing 3 Ninja Grandmaster Hanzo, 3 King Tiger Wanghoon, and 3 al-lumiraj. Our spells is 1 Raigeki, 2 Dark Hole, 3 Card of Demise, 3 Pot of Duality, 3 Forbidden Chalice, 3 Burden of the Mighty, and 3 Wonder Balloons. Our traps are 3 Lost Wind, 3 Oasis of Dragon Souls, 3 Dimensional Guardians, 1 Ninjutsu Arts of Transformation, and 3 Call the Haunted. The extra deck is 1 Yazi, Evil of the Yang Zing, 1 Dark Strike Fighter, 1 Clearwing Synchro Dragon, 1 Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, 1 Black Rose Dragon, Dark Rebellion Ixie Dragon, 2 Ragna Zero, 1 Crooked Cook, 1 Silent Anarch, 1 Giant Hand, Heartland Draco, Castel the Sky Blaster Musketeer, the Phantom Knights of Breaksword, and Wind Up Zenmaines. The side deck I'll go over in a moment. So as the name implies, this deck is centered around King Tiger Wanghoon. Its effect: when a monster with 1400 or less attack is normal or special summoned, destroy those monsters. This card must be face up on the field in order to activate and resolve this effect. This card is pretty good on its own, especially against decks that have a lot of low attack monsters. In particular, Zodiacs only have 1 monster with more than 1400 attack that they can summon in order to fight against everything else. What we're doing is using cards like Burden of the Mighty, Wonder Balloons, and al-lumiraj to lower the attack of all of our opponent's monsters. And because these are continuous effects, they're lowered as soon as they're summoned, so Tiger King will just destroy them, and hopefully our opponent won't be able to put anything onto the field. So going over those, al-lumiraj is all monsters on the field lose attack and defense equal to their own level and rank times 300. This may not seem like too much, but just to give you sort of an example, think of like a Blue Eyes White Dragon is level 8, and with al-lumiraj on the field it loses 2400 attack, so it's going down to 600. And al-lumiraj itself will have 700. So this card will allow you to pretty much beat over everything, and if you combine it with King Tiger, they're not going to be able to summon anything, so this too is the main combo. Of course, neither this nor Tiger King have any sort of special summon ability, so in order to get both of these out, we're relying on things like Call the Haunted and Oasis of Dragon Souls to be able to get these out of the graveyard. An important thing to note is that if you already have Tiger King out, you can't summon al-lumiraj. It'll lower its own attack down to 700 and be destroyed instantly. Generally, what you want to do is either summon this first and then get Tiger King, or you can negate your own Tiger King's effect by using Forbidden Chalice, for example, and then summon al-lumiraj. Or we have this other card, Dimensional Guardian. You can activate this by targeting a face-up attack position monster you control. It can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, and if the targeted monster leaves the field, destroy this card. So you can summon this and then immediately chain Dimension Guardian to stop your Tiger King from destroying it. Likewise, you can use this to protect your Tiger King or your al-lumiraj if they try to do something like Raigeki or Dark Hole to clear your field. This will save them. It'll also save them from battle if you don't have any of your attack lowering stuff yet, or if they manage to boost their attack by some means. Speaking of our other attack lowering stuff, we're playing Burden of the Mighty and Wonder Balloons. These are both continuous spells. Burden of the Mighty says each face-up monster your opponent controls loses 100 attack times its own level. Wonder Balloon says once per turn you can discard any number of cards to put balloon counters on this, and your opponent's monsters lose 300 attack for every balloon counter on this card. Now these both have their pros and cons. Burden of the Mighty, of course, only works on monsters with levels, so it doesn't stop Ixie monsters, and it doesn't really affect low-level monsters as much. Wonder Balloons, meanwhile, is less severe attack loss, and you do have to discard cards for every counter that you want on there, but it affects everything equally, and you can actually build up quite a few counters on this. So what you want to do with this deck every time is go first, if you could possibly help it, get Tiger King on the field, and then either al-lumiraj, Wonder Balloons, or Burden of the Mighty. Everything else in this deck is either protection or search power for those. Since we don't really special summon except via traps that we can use on our opponent's turn, we're playing both Card of Demise and Pot of Duality, which will stop you from special summoning for that turn, but allow you to go through your deck. Pot of Duality will let you, of course, look at the top 3 cards of your deck and add 1 to your hand, while Card of Demise, it lets you draw until you have 3 cards in your hand, and then at the end phase you have to discard everything in your hand. This works particularly well with this because we have so few monsters, and the monsters we do have we could summon out with traps, so normally you could set just about everything in the deck, draw 3 and set some more. This works actually pretty well with Wonder Balloons, because instead of just losing those cards, say you draw 3 monsters and you've already normal summoned, you can use Wonder Balloons to discard your other stuff and lower your opponent's attack instead of just letting those go to waste. In addition to these draw powers, we're also playing Ninja Grandmaster Hanzo. When this card is normal summoned, you can add 1 ninjutsu art from your deck to your hand. We're playing the 1 ninjutsu art of transformation. This lets you target a ninja monster, special summon a beast, winged beast, or insect, whose level is less than or equal to the tributed monster +3. This is important because basically it allows you to turn Hanzo into Tiger King. So if you draw this, even if you've used Pot of Duality or Card of Demise, you can normal summon Hanzo, you'll get your ninjutsu art, you set it, and then as soon as your opponent draws, you can just tag it out for King Tiger. As for the rest of these cards, we've got the Triumvirate of Destruction, 1 Raigeki, 2 Dark Holes. This is just for if you go second, you can destroy your opponent's field and then establish the thing you want to. In addition, like I already mentioned, this Dimension Guardian will prevent whatever monster you target with it from being destroyed by card effects. So you can always Dimension Guardian your Tiger King and then Dark Hole without having to worry about it. Forbidden Chalice is some good effect negation if your opponent has a monster that's going to be activating its effect before it's destroyed by Tiger King. We've got even more destruction in the form of Lost Wind. This is target a special summoned monster on the field. Its effects are negated and its original attack is halved. If a monster is special summoned from your opponent's extra deck while this is in the graveyard, set it on the field, but banish it when it leaves the field. So this is really great, not only effect negation, but it also halves the attack of your opponent's monsters, which combined with these can get some of those really big, powerful monsters below Tiger King so he can run over them. In addition, because you can get it out of your graveyard if your opponent summons from the extra deck, it's a really good card to discard with Wonder Balloons, especially if you've already got things established. You don't have to worry about them getting into the extra deck. You can wait until they disrupt your plays, and then you're getting this back out. And I think that covers everything. I mean, Call of the Haunted and Oasis of Dragon Souls are pretty self-explanatory. They just summon your cards out of the graveyard. The extra deck's mostly a toolbox. Because al-lumiraj is a level 3 tuner, you can make a lot of these level 7s because you've got level 4 monsters. In particular, Dark Strike Fighter, if things go down to a grind, you can use his burn damage for game. And Black Rose Dragon, because occasionally your continuous traps will get stuck on the field, and you can use this to clear everything and just start over fresh. Likewise, we've got a rank 4 toolbox, because we've got these level 4s. I don't go into it too much. You could pretty much put whatever you want in there. The only things I would suggest is Ragna 0, since you're lowering things attack. This will let you destroy a monster your opponent controls whose attack is different from his original attack, and draw a card. Also, Crooked Cook. This is a nice little card, so while you control no other cards on the field, it's unaffected by other card effects, and once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach a material to destroy all the other cards you control. Again, this is great, kind of like Black Rose, just because it lets you clear your side of the field. If you end up with like a ninjutsu art and a Call of the Haunted stuck that you can't use and you need to set more things, this guy can clear everything off, and he's unaffected by card effects, which with 2300, not great, but if you've already used a bunch of your opponent's resources, he could be really useful. And finally, Heartland Draco. If you control a face-up spell card, your opponent can't target this for attacks, and you can attack directly with it. So it's a good way if you've locked your opponent down to just put extra damage on the field, and because we play continuous spells, your opponent's not going to be able to attack this, even if they do get something bigger than it out. And really the rest of these are just a toolbox. We got a couple rank 3s just in case you get 2 al-lumiraj on the field, which happens more likely than you think, especially in some of these grindy games, but everything else you can just fill in with whatever you feel like. All that remains really is talk about the side deck, and I did put an actual side deck in here. Gamma pretty good because obviously a kaiju, you can use it to get rid of your opponent's monsters. What's really nice about it though is because it's level 8 with 2200 attack, if you have Burden of the Mighty and Tiger King on the field, you can summon this to your opponent's side of the field, and this will have 1400 attack, so it'll instantly be destroyed by Tiger King, so you don't even have to worry about getting rid of your own kaiju. We've also got the 3 Twin Twisters just for spell trap removal. This was made to fight Zodiacs, which don't have a lot of spell traps, so I didn't put any, but against some of the more rogue decks like Dark Magicians and Pendulums, you really might want to have these, maybe to replace the Lost Winds or even the Forbidden Chalices. In addition, we've got Moon Mirror Shield, just in case your opponent has one of those decks. I can't think of any examples off the top of my head, but I know there's some monsters that can get over al-lumiraj. This will help you get over that. We've got Chain Disappearance. This is a mean card. When a monster with 1000 or less attack is summoned, banish that monster, and then your opponent banishes all cards with the same name from their hand and deck. So this is really great, not just against Zoo, but if you can get this with Burden of the Mighty or Wonder Balloons, and they summon a bigger monster, like a Cyber Dragon, and it goes down below 1000, you can make them banish all the Cyber Dragons out of their deck. Really, really mean. Of course, you have to have both of these on the field, or like an al-lumiraj already on the field, so it's a little bit combo heavy. I didn't like it, but if you wanted to do that, it'd definitely work with it. And finally, by Order of the Emperor, when a monster effect is activated, when that monster is normal summoned, you can negate the activation, and the player whose effect was activated can draw a card. This can be really good instead of Lost Wind for monsters that don't have a lot of special summons, things like Yosinju's. More importantly, though, because Tiger King's effect activates when he draws a card, you can use this on your own monster. You summon a al-lumiraj, you negate your own Tiger King, and then you get to draw a card while keeping your combo on the field. So, pretty good. Good, just things to switch out in different situations. So that should be just about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is a really fun, really anti-meta, really trollsy deck. Next week, I'll be looking at something a little bit more traditional. We're looking at Dino Mists by Patreon request. Should be interesting. Until then, good luck and have fun.